What's good, man? Welcome to the debut of the Ultimate 216 Show. It's your host, Earl of Pearl. On the debut episode of the Ultimate 216 Show, we're going to have a conversation of passionate overpaid. One team in Cleveland made some moves today. The other one, they did not. And Kobe Bryant, man, he finally got a statue. Long live the Black Mamba. All that and more coming up next on the debut of the Ultimate 216 Show. Welcome, man. Listen, this right here, we finally made it. We finally made it to the debut of the Ultimate 216 Show. This is something that I am really excited to bring you all. A little nervous today. It's the first ever episode. I got to be honest. This is unique. You know, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is based on sports. And, you know, shout out to Adam Ostro, shout out to Steve Becker, who gave me the opportunity to, you know, just speak to you all about sports life and culture. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. I know this is a brand new baby. We're going to nurture it. We're going to grow it. We're going to plant some positive seeds. And it's going to organically take its form to how it's going to be. And so I think it's important to set the expectation of what to expect from this show. The Ultimate 216 Show is a show that's about sports, it's about life, and it's about culture. And we're going to have some fun on the show. We're going to have some serious conversations. And of course, we're going to talk about sports. But the ultimate goal is to highlight people in the 216 that's having a positive impact in the community, right? So you might not see a former player or a current player or a popular reporter that you're familiar with on this show all the time. You might see some people that's a local barber, that's a teacher, that's a guidance counselor, that's an author, that's a DJ, you know, different walks of life, but they're having some type of positive impact. The reason why I thought this was important is because a lot of times in the city of Cleveland, we get highlighted for all the wrong things, right? We often have a negative light, you know, shined upon us. And I think this is an opportunity to shine a positive light on positive people, on, you know, people that is really out here trying to impact change in a positive way. People that's out here that's, you know, trying to help the youth. And another thing about this show that I really wanted to do was to use this platform to restore hope and faith, to be some motivation to somebody that might need it, and to lend a helping hand through myself and through whoever the guests are that will appear on the show. And so, again, like I said, really don't know what to expect, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some real conversations. And hopefully, you know, you all accept this, embrace this, and we grow this together. If you in the chat, do me a favor. Drop the hashtag letter U 216, man. That's how we rocking for the Ultimate 216 Show. Hashtag U 216. So go ahead and blow the chat up with that, man. I appreciate all of you all joining me right now. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube page. Ring the bell. That way you stay in alert for this show, the rest of the Ultimate shows, and of course, you know, our main staple, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show in itself. Looking fun, man. We looking forward to having some fun. We got, like I said, real conversations, some really serious, some serious that might not be so serious. Like, for example, something that I really feel like is a major issue in the city of Cleveland, something that, if I'm being totally honest, has an impact on me on a day-to-day basis. And I'm pretty sure it has an impact on you all as well. And I'm curious to know, you know, if you all feel the same way that I feel. There's two large issues that we're facing on a day-to-day basis. People who don't know proper freeway etiquette and these slow-ass fast food restaurants, right? Like, those are serious everyday issues that might not be so big and serious to most people, but they big and serious to me. I cannot stand getting on the freeway and you got people who really don't understand what lane you need to be driving your car in at said time. And then I don't know about y'all, but this whole narrative that you got to do the speed limit, listen, you drive in a proper lane at the flow of traffic. Drop a 1 if you feel like you should drive at the flow of traffic. Drop a 2 if you feel like you should be doing the say a 65 mile per hour speed limit. Because I'm going to tell you, you people who want to just do the speed limit, you're going to cause an accident people that faster than the people that's driving with the flow of traffic. And then y'all got the nerve to be on your phone, applying your makeup, texting on your phone, eating, like doing all kind of crazy stuff. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to get to work on time. Like, you know how, like it seems like every other morning I'm texting Mike, hey, bro, I'm stuck on 77. I'll see you about 8:15. Like, true story, every day I drive I-90, I-480, I-77. That is 3 of like the most major highways in Northeast Ohio. So you can only imagine like what I go through just try to get wherever, like, on time. And what's crazy is like I leave out in enough time to make it on time. And yeah, the other side of this coin is fast food restaurants. Like, since when do you go sit in a drive-through and waiting 20 minutes is acceptable? Like, some people get a half-hour lunch break. And you trying to go get you something to eat. You trying to go get you a number 2 combo with a Pepsi. And you got to sit there for about 5 or 6 minutes before they even take your order. You probably got another 10 minutes before you even pay, and probably another 3 or 4 before you get your food. So now you got to rush back to work and drive. Or another thing, like I know me, this is a big one for me. I try to go get me something to eat before a big game, right? Ain't nothing like sitting down with a nice meal before a big game. You know, you full, you can watch the game. I get hangry, right? So if I'm too hungry, like, I'm pissed off now, right? But ain't nothing more, like, there's nothing more that pisses me off than just being stuck in a drive-through for 20 minutes where all I wanted was a number 2 combo, to where in my mind, I should be there no longer than 5 minutes. And I'm saying this from my own experiences, right? Like, I've worked at fast food restaurant. My first ever job was at Wendy's. And my boss, shout out to Maxine, my boss at the time, she was big on 60-second cars. By the time that you come to our drive-through and you place your order, to the time that you pull around, you pay for it, you should be able to get your food. So what side of the coin you on? Like, what pisses you off more? Is it people that don't have proper freeway etiquette, or is it being stuck in a fast food restaurant for longer than 5-10 minutes max? And that's just an example of some of the serious but not so serious conversations that we're gonna have on the show. We're gonna talk about like multiculturalism. We're gonna have a lot of deep conversations. Truly, truly looking forward to it, man. We're gonna get into this passion over pay, but like I said, I am very, very excited to start this thing up. Really looking forward to getting a lot of feedback from you all. Like I said, when you start seeing these guests pop up that you don't know, I encourage you, man, stay tuned in. Like, you never know. Like, you might be coming across somebody that might be able to help you, your child, or a family member, or your spouse, like, get to the next level. You never know. That person might have a story that's similar to yours, and they're encouraging you in some way, some shape or form of, just to hold on and have some faith, and just to be better. So, like I said, man, really looking forward to it. All right, man, before we get into this next topic, don't forget, man, the Ultimate Shows is officially off and running. Check out Jason Lloyd, Mikey McNuggets on the next episode of the Ultimate Cleveland Cavaliers show. Man, the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight in Brooklyn at 7:30. Last 16 games, the Cavs are 15-1. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some hot topics, man. As the Cavs keep on rolling, keep on pushing, make sure you tune into the Ultimate Cleveland Cavaliers show to get the latest on what's going on with them. So last week, I believe it was, I'll play the audio for you all in a minute. LeBron James was in the locker room post game, and he was speaking to the fact of a lot of young players in the NBA today, they are focused on all the wrong things, right? They're focused on the money, the cars, the jewelry, the women, things like that. And these are issues to where I think that become distractions. And, when we have these type of conversations, understand that I believe that there's a lot of crossover to everyday real life in sports when it comes to some of these issues. So I'm gonna play this clip first from LeBron James, and he's going to pretty much talk about, um, you know, these dudes letting other things outside of the game of basketball become more important, and honestly, that can have a negative impact. Take a listen.
Come to the gym. One of the first ones to the gym. We one of the last ones to leave. And just pour it all into the game. If you want to be great, and if you want to be, someone that's, will never be forgotten in this league. So, it's a lot. The cars and the jewelry and all the other dumb shit that don't matter means absolutely nothing. And I see a lot of these young kids, they get so unfocused about stuff that is so material that they can lose their focus. Just worry about the game. I mean, you worry about the game, everything take care of yourself. You worry about the game, you worry about your family, and then worry about the game some more. And be selfish too. It's okay to be selfish because you have to be a little bit selfish to be able to be great. Some people have to fall to the wayside at times.
That was current Los Angeles Lakers forward, former Cleveland Cavaliers forward LeBron James, and you heard what he said. I 100% agree with him, and you'll get to know, like, when I have conversations, I try to really speak from my own personal experiences or things that I've really witnessed firsthand. And I'm a firm believer, like, if you're not doing something that you truly passionate about, eventually it's going to flame out, and then your stewardship is going to be called into question, right? Doing something at maximum effort is going to be called into question. I think a lot of times people pick an occupation because of the financial benefit, even if they really don't love it. I know people who are in the medical field, they are nurses. And when you ask them, well, why are you a nurse? They'll tell you because, I mean, this pays a lot of money. But they really don't have a vested passion in really being a caretaker, somebody that is really into nurturing people, sick people at that. You're doing it because it pays a nice amount of money for you to be able to take care of yourself. And I named this passion over pay, and some people might say, well, Pearl, you done lost your damn mind, because in the climate in 2024, regardless if I like it or not, I got a family to take care of. I got myself to take care of. I need to make some money. And I get that. But eventually, that right there won't be a motivating factor, right? Eventually, let's say if you got a job that you are making good money, damn good money, right? Eventually, you're going to make so much money to where the money can't be a motivating factor. Like, imagine going to a job that you really don't like on a day that life is really kicking your ass, but you absolutely still got to go, because the one thing in this world we all got to do to survive is we got to work. So imagine going to a job you really don't like, you really don't care for, it pays you good money, you got to take care of yourself and your family, so you're going to do what's necessary. I think that's the wrong mindset, especially if you're a person that's a dreamer and that's truly, truly passionate about something. For 8 years, I worked for Cleveland Municipal Court. I worked for Earl B. Turner Clerk of Courts, and I was the supervisor of the civil division in the garnishment department. And the job paid pretty good money. I had a position of power. And to be totally honest with you, like for the most part, I was left alone. I was cool. I got PRS. This is a job that if you get it, the thing is, especially here in the state of Ohio, if you get one of those quote unquote get good government jobs, whether it be city, or state, they're typically like traditionally, those are the jobs that you retire from. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you all. I never really saw myself retiring from there. And I remember I quit this job. And when I quit this job, I still didn't go pursue my dreams. I went and got another job that would pay me good money. I got there and I realized that I still wasn't happy. I still wasn't satisfied. Now, in between the time that I quit this the city job and started the job at Progressive, my father had suddenly passed away from a heart attack. And I remember sitting with my brother writing out my dad's obituary. And I realized how much stuff my father had accomplished at just 57 years old before his like untimely passing, so to speak. And I instantly got to thinking about everything that I've been passionate about, things that I've truly, truly dreamed of doing, and how I never really pursued it because I either didn't have the time, the education, or the finances to really do it. And by this time, I'm a dad, right? And I got other stuff that I really need to be focused on and like worrying about. And so, whatever, that's that. You fast forward, I leave the job that I left the city to go to take a job with Cuyahoga County because, again, my father passed. And now I'm searching for something that's familiar. I'm not even really considering money or anything. I just want something familiar. It's been too much change for me. I get back there, and again, the same thing. Now it's like rinse, wash, and repeat. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not happy. There's something inside of me that's still not right. I know I got children. I know I got to take care of myself. I know I got to make a living. But yet, this is not satisfying me. This is not what I want to do. Next thing you know, COVID hits. And when COVID hit, I made a bold choice to quit my job and to pursue my dreams to be in the sports media world right here in Cleveland. I went to Ohio Media School, grinded it out. And I'll say this now, because I didn't know this at that time. I actually went to school at the perfect time because truthfully, COVID, it changed how we consume media. And in my opinion, I believe that around that time, whoever was in said broadcasting school, media school, journalism school, etc., whoever was in school around that time were the first people who got the opportunity to, deal with the technology that will be able to produce how people consume media going forward. And so, not even realizing it or knowing it, I kind of did myself some major favors. And I remember getting out of school, I landed my job at 92.3 The Fan. And when I landed my job at 92.3 The Fan, I was so happy because I understood that I was working for the number one sports radio station in the Midwest region and definitely in Northeast Ohio. But it was also one of those things to where, okay, my foot is in the door, but this is a brand new journey. I'm starting from the bottom and I got to grind my way to the top. And I'm not going to tell you how much I started off making versus what I make now. I just tell you this. I was working less than 30 hours a week, making pennies on the dollar. And I remember all I was doing was screening calls and putting people like Mary Kay Cabot through for interviews with the host. But I was passionate about sports. And like LeBron said in that clip, I really didn't worry about nothing else. If I just focus on what I'm passionate on, everything else will take care of itself. This is the same thing I think that applies in sports, right? You see these athletes all the time who really don't love the game. They love what the game can do for them. And you notice after a while, it starts to show up in their play. It starts to show up in their effort. And I think being a good stewardess in your profession is just as important as being a good stewardess in life. And that if you don't learn these core values of, pursuing something that you're passionate about so that you can always exhibit your best effort, then you're going to always be in a situation like I was for a long time to where you're just searching for this, like, temporary gratification, this temporary sense of, okay, I'm all right now. Eventually, man, all that stuff is not going to matter. You're going to have to eventually get to a point to where, you're really willing to go after what matters to you at all cost. I was telling my homeboy Tyvis, shout out to Tyvis Powell, we had a conversation today. Hypothetically, right? If you could be laying in your grave and you could look up from your grave one last time before they threw the dirt on top of you, will you be satisfied with the life that you lived? Can you look up from your grave and say, everything that I always wanted to do with my life, I at least tried to do it? And if you can't, then unfortunately you lived a life that was unfulfilled of you really like fulfilling your entire purpose. And if you didn't fulfill your entire purpose while you was alive, in my opinion, you didn't get the most out of the human part of your life. So that's just something to think about. It before we close this segment, I'm gonna give you another clip, man, from Ted Senor. Ted Senor is the head football coach for the Glenville Tar Blooders football team, and he's also their head track coach. But this is why this is important for me to give you this message now, because some of you all that's watching, you got kids that's in high school that might play sports, and they might be looking at playing sports for the wrong reasons, right? They might not necessarily be passionate about it. They just might be looking at it for a way out. So just take a look and listen at what Ted again had to say. And this is when he was on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I believe this was January 18th, 2022. Take a listen.
What's the biggest difference that you've seen in the boys?
Oh, easy. It's just they don't love football. They just play it.
They don't love it anymore. Why are they playing?
Because
a way out?
They because of the way of the world. All the things that's going on today. They don't love football.
Wow.
They just play it. So you have to be love into it. They don't. You got your games, you got your cell phones, you got everything is all speeded up. You can't
Too many
do
distractions
this.
now.
Yeah, you can't do that. They got talent, but they don't love football.
Across the board?
Across the board.
That's interesting.
I'm just telling you, tell me, and I say it all the time. I had a state championship team. But can I tell you on the team who really love it? Because you love it by what you do every day. I don't see that.
Kids love winning.
That's it. But
So I would imagine that as they're going on and the excitement's building and they're getting a lot of attention, they love that aspect.
They love that. They love the Instagram. They love all that.
Shout out to Coach Ted again, Senior. But I hope you take that in, man, and understand. Like, I think he's 100% right. Young adults and adults tend to love what things can do for them instead of that sad thing. And if you love whatever it is more than what you love, what it can do for you, and you focus in on that, it'll do way more for you than what you think it can do. So just a little something to put on your mind. Shout out to my man G Bush, man, who got the Ultimate Cleveland Browns show started this past week. 2 episodes a week. 1 episode, he's going to sit down and talk to legends. If you missed his very first episode, he had Leroy Horde on. Leroy Horde is a great friend of the show. So go back and check that out, man. That's the Ultimate Cleveland Browns show coming at you twice a week with my man G Bush. All right, man. So the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight at 7:30. The trade deadline has come and went. Kobe Altman and the Cleveland Cavaliers decided to make no moves. They decided to go after nobody out here as far as, making a trade before the deadline. They decided to stand pat with what they have. And I want to know how you feel about it. You can drop your comments in the chat. Do you feel like Kobe Altman should have pursued somebody before the trade deadline expired? Or do you feel like that the Cleveland Cavaliers did right by standing pat with what they have and just, pushing forward with the season? Me personally, I think the Cavs did right. Now, I know I've taken a lot of criticism because of my opinion and some comments on how I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers should be using Darius Garland. And to each his own, right? We all entitled to our opinion. I stand on what I stand on. I stand behind what I said. I think when I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, man, in the last 16 games, they are balling out, right? 15-1 in the last 16 games. Currently, coming into this game, they have the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They lead the Central Division. This team has the best road record in basketball. They are in the top 3 in three-point percentage, rebounds per game over this time span. The Cavs are flat out balling. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 29.4 points per game coming in tonight. I think it's 7.3 assists, 5.2 rebounds. He's shooting 50% from the field, as well as 37.3% from three-point range, right? This team is balling. And I think that this is a team that has a lot of talent, a lot of different weapons, and we've seen JB Bickerstaff grow as a head coach over the last month or two. And so for me, sometimes the best moves to be made is the moves that you make internally. And I think that this is a good opportunity because the Cavs are a lock for the playoffs. Like we see what's going on. Like we didn't check the temperature. We know what's up, right? And so knowing that the Cleveland Cavaliers is a lock for the playoffs, I think this is the opportunity and the time for JB Bickerstaff to experiment and, fine tune what's working well, try some things out with different roster combinations, and just seeing like how many lethal lineups that you can put together to attack your opponent. Because at the end of the day, everything that you're doing right now at this point in the regular season is gearing up for the playoff run. And the fans of the city of Cleveland, the people who cover the team and the team itself is all expecting a different result from that bullshit that happened last year against the New York Knicks, right? Like we showed that we wasn't tough enough, that the lights was too bright, and we wasn't ready for the big stage. And I think that this Cleveland Cavaliers team is much deeper than they were last year. I think this team is playing much better than they were last year. They've adapted a new style of play that seems to work well with the roster that's been configured on his team. And JB Bickerstaff has done a great job, a great job of, adjusting his coaching style to make this thing work. And so, if you talk to my man, Mikey McNuggets, he'll tell you, in the playoffs, game to game, the coaches are going to adjust on who they attack, how they attack you, what their goals is to try to stop you from doing your thing. And if that's the case, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to tinker with different lineups to see what really works, what don't work. So that way, when you get to the playoffs, you've already, been through the trial and error process of, okay, this work, this don't work. And then you're able to move forward. So, shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Keep pushing forward. Keep doing your thing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. This team is special. The true test is, the Boston Celtics, right? How you match up against the Boston Celtics in the regular season and in the playoffs if you get the opportunity to make it to the point of playing them. So that was a team in Cleveland that made zero moves, and rightfully so. A team that's out here shaking and moving. Our beloved Cleveland Browns, man. Jimmy Haslam is in the works of purchasing 176 acres, right? Talk about 40 acres in a mule. I'm just trying to get 1 acre, y'all. Like, man, put the one in the chat, man, if you just want to own 1 acre of land. Like, damn. But he purchased 176 acres of land, Brook Park area near Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. And this potentially might be the future home of the Cleveland Browns. I think this is a smart move by Jimmy Haslam because clearly he is ready to move forward and to get a new stadium. I would love to see something with natural grass and a retractable roof. I do know in previous conversations he has said that he wanted to kind of keep the stadium downtown Cleveland. We don't know if that's going to be possible. We don't know, if stadium renovations on the current stadium will ever take place. I don't think that they should. I think the best course of action is building a new stadium. Uh, I'm a person that would love to see the stadium stay downtown Cleveland because simply that's what I'm used to. But if I'm being open minded, I can definitely see the pros of a potential stadium in Brook Park, Ohio. This is the opportunity. I don't know all the major connecting freeways, so forgive me, but I easily think of 77, 90, and 480, right? You have more than one access point into getting to the stadium. And then Jimmy has purchased so much land that, yeah, it might not be much around it now, but you can build out, with restaurants and gift shops and parking lots and things like that. And I also think that, if they don't use this for a potential site for a Cleveland Browns new stadium, then you still have this venue here for what could be a potential major league soccer team, a women's major league soccer team. We all know that the Haslams own the Columbus Crew. And so the interest is clearly already there in Major League Soccer. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. But clearly he came up on a deal that he couldn't pass up on. And I'm not mad at him for going out there and doing this thing, man. So the Cavaliers didn't make a move today. I like the fact that they didn't make a move today. The Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, Jimmy Haslam out here purchasing land. Also, the Cleveland Browns did hire Andy Dickerson as their new offensive line coach. So I'm kind of like waiting to see what happened. I'm not going to really, get too much into detail about it. If he comes in, he does his job, and the offensive line can sustain the level of play, cool. I'm all for it. One last time, man, don't forget to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Ring the bell for all the latest alerts. It's been fun sitting here with y'all. Also, make sure that you are tracking all the Ultimate shows and that you're ringing a bell for those. We got the Ultimate 216 show. We got the Ultimate Cleveland Browns, the Ultimate Cleveland Cavaliers. Ultimate Cleveland Guardians show will be coming soon, and do not forget about that. In closing, I just say this. I got through the first episode. Well, 1 minute to go, man. I'll just say this. Today is 2/8/2024. 2/8/24. Those were the jersey numbers of Gianna Bryant and Kobe Bryant. And, today, outside of Crypto Arena in Los Angeles, the LA Lakers will unveil a Kobe Bryant statue. I love the fact that I was able to debut this show on the day that Kobe Bryant gets his statue. Kobe Bryant was not my favorite NBA player, but he was one of the players that I paid attention to. And as a man, when he spoke, I tend to listen. Mamba mentality is something that I try to adapt myself. I find gratification. I find beauty in the pain. I find beauty in the grind. And like Kobe, it ain't too many people out here that's going to outwork me to get to where I want. So RIP to the Black Mamba, man. Till next time, man, y'all be great and spread love. Remember, being great, that come with a price. Spreading love, that thing is priceless. I love y'all. I'm out.